She believed in Christmas magic until her mother told her one truth, and a child's world shattered overnight. Before we get into the story, please subscribe to this channel because you mean the world to us. Now let's get back. Amina was 9 and believed December listened. In her West African village, Christmas arrived with drums before dawn, palm leaf stars on doorways, and laughter that traveled farther than smoke. Santa did not come from snow, he came by camel, bells chiming softly, guided by stories older than the church bell. Amina believed all of it, because believing felt like breathing. On Christmas Eve, she woke early and helped her mother grind peanuts while humming a hymn. "Mama," she said, "will Santa like the cola cakes this year?" Her mother smiled without answering, eyes warm, hands steady. Outside, children practiced dances, feet slapping dust into rhythm. Amina's father tuned his radio, catching a choir from the city, the voices bright as morning. By noon, Amina slipped away to the baobab tree of wishes. Everyone knew the tree. It stood beyond the millet fields, thick and patient, bark scarred by names and seasons. People said it whispered dreams into the stars, and stars carried them where they needed to go. Amina pressed her palm to the bark. It was cool. "Please," she murmured, "let everyone laugh tomorrow. Let Mama rest. Let Papa sing." She did not ask for toys. She never did. Her best friend, Sadia, ran up with a ribbon in her hair. "Did you tell it?" she asked. Amina nodded. "What did it say back?" Sadia teased. "Shoo," Amina laughed. "You have to listen with your chest." They leaned close, pretending to hear. For a moment, pretending felt like truth. The village prepared as the sun softened. Aunties wrapped gifts in cloth, uncles set lanterns, elders shared stories beneath a sky lining stars. Amina's grandmother passed by, tapping her walking stick. "Stories keep us warm," she told the children. "Carry them carefully." Amina tucked the words away. As evening fell, the air filled with spices and song. The church bell rang once, then again, calling and answering the drums. Amina sat beside her mother, watching the sky change colors. She felt full in a way that had nothing to do with food. "Mama," she said quietly, "do the stars hear us?" Her mother squeezed her hand. "They see you," she said. Amina smiled and believed December listened, because everything around her seemed to lean in, waiting, kind and bright. That night she helped set a small bowl of water outside for the camel, the way her father taught. "For the journey," he said, winking. Amina arranged her sandals neatly and washed her hands. She listened to elders laugh and babies sleep. When prayers ended, she lay beside her mother, tracing patterns on the mat. "Thank you for today," she whispered. Her mother brushed her hair. "Tomorrow will be good," she said. Amina closed her eyes, certain goodness could be made by hands, voices, and care, and she rested inside the feeling without needing more. The drums faded softly, stars held steady, and Amina slept smiling, carrying stories like seeds, patient, ready, already rooted in her village, safe, loved, together always. Night settled gently, and the village quieted into listening. Amina lay on a mat beside her mother, outside where the air was cooler and the stars felt close enough to touch. Crickets stitched sound into the dark. Her mother pointed upward, tracing a path between constellations the elders named after animals and journeys. Amina followed the finger, eyes wide, heart light. "Mama," Amina said, her voice careful, "do the stars help Santa find us in Africa too?" Her mother's hand paused in the air. For a long moment she said nothing. The night seemed to hold its breath. Amina turned, confused by the silence, and saw her mother's face change, not angry or sad, but thoughtful, like someone standing at the edge of deep water. "My child," her mother began softly, "there is something you should know." She lowered her hand and met Amina's eyes. "The stories we tell at Christmas are stories. They are not the way the world works. Amina frowned. Not even a little, she asked. The camel. The tree. Her mother exhaled. The camel is a picture. The baobab does not whisper. Gifts do not fall from the sky. They come from people who wake early and work late because they love you. Her voice did not shake, but Amina felt the words land heavily, one after another, like stones. Amina sat up. So Santa isn't real, she said, more statement than question. Her mother nodded once. The joy is real. The kindness is real. But the rest is something we made to teach and to comfort. She reached for Amina's hand. Amina pulled it back, not in anger, but in surprise, as if the night itself had changed shape. The stars looked different now. Too sharp. Too far away. Amina swallowed. Why didn't you tell me before? She whispered. Because belief can be a soft place to grow, her mother replied. And because knowing the truth also matters. She touched Amina's shoulder gently. I didn't want you to hear it from laughter meant to hurt. Amina lay back down, staring upward. The baobab appeared in her mind, silent and still. The whisper she remembered felt suddenly loud and empty at once. So I was pretending, she said. You were imagining, her mother corrected. There is a difference. She wrapped an arm around Amina, holding her close. I am sorry if this hurts. Tears slipped into Amina's ears, warm and confusing. The songs from earlier seemed far away. She wondered if the stars had ever seen her at all, or if she had only wanted them to. When sleep finally came, it did not arrive like a gift, but like a door closing quietly, leaving her alone with thoughts she did not yet know how to carry. Her mother stayed awake beside her, listening to the child's breathing change, knowing something precious had shifted, and hoping love would be strong enough to hold what belief once carried for them both. The stars remained, distant, silent witnesses. Amina woke to drums and singing, but the sound slid past her like water. She lay still, watching light creep across the wall, feeling older than yesterday. Her mother moved quietly, careful, as if the morning were fragile. It's Christmas, she said gently. Amina did not answer. Outside, children laughed and ran. Amina washed her face and dressed without hurry. The bowl for the camel sat empty. She did not feel it. When her mother placed a small wrapped bundle in her hands, Amina set it on the mat. Why pretend, she said. It's all a lie. Her father knelt beside her. Nothing here is meant to trick you, he said. Amina shook her head. The tree. The stars. Santa. You said they weren't real. Her voice cracked, then steadied. So what is this? She gestured toward the gift. Love, her mother said. Amina looked away. The village gathered near the square. Dances began, bright cloth turning, feet finding rhythm. Amina watched from the doorway. Every smile felt rehearsed. She remembered last year's race to the baobab, the hush before whispers, the thrill of believing someone listened. Now those memories played differently, like songs slowed until they ached. Sadia waved. Come, she called. Amina shook her head. Sadia's smile faltered, then she ran back to the others. Amina felt a pinch of guilt, then a heavier weight beneath it, something like betrayal. She had trusted words. She had built joy on them. How could joy survive when the words were pulled away? Her grandmother passed, humming, carrying a basket. Morning, little one, she said. Amina did not reply. The old woman paused, studying her. Some mornings arrive quietly, she said, then moved on. At midday, the church bell rang. Amina stayed inside. She traced the mat with her finger, remembering patterns her mother once said were maps. Maps to what? Amina had asked. To each other, her mother had replied. The answer felt thin now. Food was shared. Laughter rose and fell. Amina ate without tasting. She watched her parents exchange looks filled with worry and patience. She wanted to forgive them and did not know how. The truth sat between them, solid and cold. As afternoon leaned toward evening, Amina stepped outside. She did not go to the baobab. She sat beneath the eaves, listening to the last drums fade. Christmas continued around her, alive and loud, but inside her, something had gone quiet. She did not cry. She did not sing. She simply waited, unsure what came after belief, holding the empty space where wonder used to live. She remembered her mother's laugh, her father's songs, the careful hands that tied ribbons and cooked all night. None of that vanished. Yet knowing how things were made changed how they felt. Amina wondered if growing up always meant losing something first, then learning how to hold what remained without dropping it, without breaking the people who gave it. She hoped time would teach gently and with patience and care. That evening, when the sky cooled and the village settled into softer sounds, Amina's grandmother came to sit beside her. She lowered herself slowly, bones speaking, eyes bright. "You have been very quiet," she said. "Quiet can mean many things." Amina shrugged. "I don't feel like singing." Her grandmother nodded. "Then we will listen." They sat together until the first star appeared. "Do you know why I carry stories?" the old woman asked. "So people don't forget," Amina said, without looking. "So people remember what matters," her grandmother corrected gently. "Even when the shape of it changes." Amina picked at a loose thread. "Mama says the stories aren't real." Her grandmother smiled, not amused, not offended. "Is the drum real?" she asked. "Or is it only wood and skin?" She tapped the ground once. "When the drummer plays, do your feet know the truth or the pieces?" Amina frowned. "The sound." "Yes," her grandmother said. "The sound is what moves you." She leaned closer and began, her voice steady and low. "There was once a lion cub who believed the moon gave him his roar. Each night he practiced, lifting his head, calling to the sky. His roar was thin at first, but he believed. One night, a storm came, and the clouds hid the moon. The cub roared anyway. It was strong, because he had grown into it." Amina listened despite herself. The images formed easily, familiar and new. "So the moon didn't do it," she said. "No," her grandmother replied. "But believing he was heard taught him how to use his voice." Amina thought of the baobab. "So the tree holds shade," her grandmother said. "It holds meetings. It holds names. We give it more because we need a place to put our hopes." She rested her hand over Amina's. "The story is not a trick. It is a bridge." Amina's chest loosened a little. "Mama shouldn't have said it like that," she whispered. "Truth can arrive without knocking," her grandmother said. "It still needs a chair." She chuckled softly. "Your mother loves you. She wanted you to stand on solid ground." They watched the stars multiply. "When I was your age," her grandmother continued, "I believed the river kept our secrets. Then I learned it carried many things. Did the river change? Or did I?" Amina smiled faintly. "You changed." "Yes," her grandmother said. "And I learned how to tell the story differently." Amina breathed out. The ache inside her did not vanish, but it softened, like clay warmed by hands. She imagined herself at the baobab, not whispering, but speaking. "Can I keep the stories?" she asked. Her grandmother squeezed her hand. "You must," she said. "Because one day someone will need them. And you will know how to give them without breaking their hearts." Morning came quietly. The drums were distant now, the village easing back into its usual rhythm. Amina rose before anyone called her name. She washed her face and stepped outside, the air cool and honest. The baobab stood where it always had, wide and waiting. She walked to it without hurry. She placed her palm on the bark, feeling its roughness, its steadiness. For a moment, she closed her eyes, remembering how she used to whisper wishes. She did not whisper this time. Once, she said aloud, testing her voice, there was a village that believed kindness could travel. The words surprised her with how easily they came. People carried it in songs and food and work. They gave it names so children could hold it. She paused, then smiled. They were right. She stayed a while, speaking softly, not asking for anything. When she turned back, the world looked the same, but her steps felt lighter. At home, her younger cousin, Molly, struggled with a string of handmade ornaments. It keeps falling, he complained. Amina knelt beside him. Here, she said, guiding his hands. Tie it like this. He beamed when it held. Is Santa coming? He asked. Amina met his eyes. She thought of her mother's careful truth and her grandmother's gentle bridge. People bring the gifts, she said. And stories bring the feeling. Molly nodded, satisfied, and went back to humming. Her mother watched from the doorway. Good morning, she said. Amina returned the greeting and hugged her. It was a small hug, but it stayed. I was angry, Amina said. I didn't know where to put it. I'm here, her mother replied. We can make room together. They shared breakfast. Laughter found its way back, quietly, like a bird testing a branch. Amina opened the gift she had left untouched. Inside was a notebook with thick pages. Her father smiled. For your stories, he said. Amina traced the cover, understanding blooming. Later, she sat with her grandmother, who nodded once at the notebook. You see, the old woman said. You are already doing the work. As evening approached, children gathered again near the square. Amina told Molly a short tale about a star that learned to listen. He listened with his whole body. Others drifted closer. Amina felt a warmth that did not need believing to exist. When night settled, she looked up at the stars. They were distant and bright, unchanged. She did not ask them for anything. She carried the story inside her instead, knowing how it had been made, knowing why it mattered. Sometimes, the truth doesn't kill magic. It gives it roots. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. See you in the next story.